Applebloom was walking Winona when she went past Tendertap's place. She was always curious at what was in his house. So, at night when he was at work, Applebloom snuck into his home and took a peek. Nothing stood out at first except for the lamp in the shape of Fluttershy's husband, and chaotic chimera, Discord. Until she accidentally found a mysterious latch, then her weight pulled her into it, and fell. She soon noticed that she was in a vent. Applebloom crawled to the end, and saw a bright light coming from the left of her. She tried to take a better look by opening the latch. It was a beautiful yellow aurora, that seemed to go to a forest. She heard stories of the thing from her, once sister, now a female cyborg, Sir Unit, who is hiding from an evil race of bug, lizard people, Irkin's friend. The humans called it the Florpus, which is ironic because in Drunian as means forever on place. The ponies, dragons, and others who live on Equestria and Sequestria don't even know what it is. Applebloom's friend Lycia said that the Florpus brought her boyfriend back from Cincinnati, before he would have got caught by a human named Dib Membrane. Now, that she is seeing it for herself, she believes that it's there for a reason. But, she could not leave and enter the Florpus before she told her friends, Sweetie and Scootaloo. So, Applebloom sends them all a message, then goes though the glowing aurora that is the Florpus. When she enters, it's a whole other world. She is enclosed by vines. The vines were everywhere. She finds a conveniently sharp rock, and tries to cut her way through the viney jungle. Soon, she finds herself near the entrance of a brick wall. The wall was made out of perfectly cut bricks, so perfect that each clay block sat perfectly adjacent to each other. The wall, however, does have an opening. A door to be exact. Applebloom finds the door, and goes inside. She is greeted by a Vastu, the closest animal to a cat on planet Droon, pronounced Va-Zoo. He greeted her with a smile, and spoke. He said, "Welcome to Morbus. Are you lost? I never saw you around here. I'm Applebloom, a Gredith pony from Ponyville. Gredith means ground, or on the floor. I got here through the Florpus." Applebloom answered the stranger's question with caution. "The Florpus? Oh, you mean the gold ring over there in the jungle. By the way, I'm Goat the Lynx." The Lynx questions her for using the name, the Florpus, for a gold ring. Applebloom exclaims, "The Florpus is just a gold ring? When I come back, Lycia will be surprised for sure when I tell her about it." Goat interrupts her rant. "That would not be a good idea." Applebloom also interrupts, "Why?" Goat continues, "There is this very evil man who would do anything to expand his empire. And if he finds out about where you live, you and your planet would be in great danger." "Who is this man, and what does he look like?" Applebloom adds more questions. "His name is Dr. E." Applebloom gets hit with a brick, figuratively, which makes her notice where she is. "Eggman? I'm on Morbus? Where is Sonic? I'm dying to meet him." Goat sighs. The door opens with the greeting of another animal, this time one that looks like an arbi, like a ferret, pronounced RBI. "Who is this?" he asks somewhat angrily. "This is Applebloom. She found her way through here. She's an alien." Goat answered his question. "Applebloom, this is Tata the mouse. He's my friend's brother." Applebloom greets him. "Do you know where the TV is?" "It's down the hall and to your right." The lynx answers. She walks in the direction of where he said. The Gredith pony finds herself in a room that reminds her of the kind of living room a human would make. She finds the remote in the drawer, then turns on the TV. The TV was on a nature channel. Applebloom watched it for a few seconds before getting bored of it. She then changed the channel to a kids channel, then to a fashion channel, then finally to the news. Nothing significant showed up at first. The news anchor, most similar to an Akokoba, which is like a jerboa, was showing a tornado that hit in the Fibors area a few days prior. Applebloom was about to change the channel, when the camera abruptly pans to a once-was store. It was nearly torn down, and on fire. The reporter interviewed the victims, one of which was a cockatrice-like creature, a Medusa-like chimera that is a dragon-chicken mix. Referred to a chicken, she said that she saw a fat man take Sonic and Tails. Goat and Tata both noticed, and quickly went into the living room. "Now, you really should leave before he captured all of us." Tata hesitated. "She doesn't even know how to get back home, Tata." Goat hesitated back. Apple Bloom watches them as they continue to argue. She quietly sneaks out of the brick cottage and finds her way around the perfectly arranged bricks. On the other side of the house, a large field of grass is visible. The grasslands don't extend far enough to not see a village, however. Despite the fact that the only heroes seem to be gone, and everyone is spiraling out of control, Apple Bloom proceeds forward across the grass. During that time she crosses the grasslands, Sweetie and Scootaloo start getting worried about Apple Bloom. What's taking her so long? I thought we were going to go to the park today. Someone still needs our help over there. Scootaloo angrily questions Apple Bloom, for which they don't know where she is. Sweetie nods. They go to a crosstown asking if they've seen her. None of them said anything, but as they walked past Tender Taps, they couldn't help but notice something. Winona was there, sad and tired, also tied to the mailbox. So, she finally went in. That's a crime punishable by law. Does she know that? Sweetie adds fact to an already known statement. She always thought that place was suspicious. Scootaloo adds. They both look at each other for a moment, then untie Winona, look around, and go into the house. At first the only weird thing that was there was a lamp in the shape of discord. Then, as they walked, they noticed an open latch. They both inside of it, and find themselves where Apple Bloom stood before. Scootaloo steps on the phone, which didn't actually send. They both read it, and stare at the gold ring. Should we go in? Sweetie says. Yeah. Scootaloo answers. They enter it. Apple Bloom is in the middle of a battleground. Everything is on fire, houses are crumbled down, and many of the residents have moved somewhere, or at least gone. One of them is crazy enough to hide in a basement, however, as she hears her. She opens the door with one of her back legs. Inside the basement, it is nearly impossible to see. Hello? Apple Bloom waits for an answer. Finally, a light turns on. So, you are nowhere near being Sonic. The pink hedgehog says. Obviously not. I'm Apple Bloom. I am a Gredith, not a hedgehog. Oh, well, I'm Amy Rose. Now that Sonic and Tails are gone, the only hope is for Eggman to mess up his plans. Amy stated. I never saw you, Sonic 2. Apple Bloom said. That human game? That isn't that accurate. How many did you play? Amy Rose at first acted distraught, but then became curious. Not that many. I've only played Sonic 1 and 2. After that, Licia said playing it too much could rot my brain. Despite her being a literal robot, and me seeing her play Tavers with Gurr. She said, well, there is one other possible way we can get Sonic and Tails back. Amy quickly changed the subject. Hey, we were talking about games that humans made, then you quickly. 3. Changed the subject? Amy continues without listening to Apple Bloom. I absolutely hate the idea though. It involves that red-headed, literally, echidna. Amy. Apple Bloom tries to get Amy to listen but continues to fail. Me, Knuckles, and you? Between all of us, Eggman could probably wipe out all of us. And plus, how are we ever gonna get up onto Angel Island? And also, he most likely won't even listen, and ignore us. Amy rants. Apple Bloom comments quietly, like what you're doing now. She then giggles a little. What's funny? Amy complains. But, what was the thing you said about, one other possible way? Apple Bloom angers Amy. You, Knuckles, and I will. This time Amy is interrupted. Oh, that. Who is Knuckles? Apple Bloom asks. Amy replies with an echidna who likes to be alone, and ruins my perfect days with Sonic. Amy answers, she then adds, the only thing he's good at is punching. Well then, how are we going to? The only way I know how to get there is through Goat's blimp service. Amy thinks. Well, first, we have to find him.